Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Hi, everybody.
We're back. I know we took a week off on this series, but we're here to talk VH1's Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition. This is episode 5 of this season. This one's Under Fresher. I love the titles on these episodes. Really, only thing I'll say carrying over from last week was the riot at the book donation rally. I feel bad, honestly, because like you have Spice going out there trying to do something nice, Carly and Meta going with her, and they were going to give out like $5 million in book vouchers, and they had to move locations because too many people showed up, and then it got bum rushed basically. What did you think about the book charity?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that like those type of things happen, but it didn't look like they had like the greatest like security. Like
No.
I don't know, when you rattle those fences, like people can get crushed. I know it
Oh
doesn't
no,
look
for
like
sure.
it, but it's like that. I understand why they had to leave.
Also, I think it's a cool charity, the 5 million and things. I am glad that it was vouchers because if there was cash in those
Oh, it'd be
envelopes,
terrible.
there would have been murders.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
um,
I don't think they would have signed off on going.
no, it was an interesting thing. Again, I
Mm.
think it's a really cool cause, and I'm sure they found a way to distribute them after the fact. It's probably not in a big public event like that. This episode also was about kind of reconciliations, kind of two main conversations amongst groups of people that I think is the kind of the real main purpose of why these reunion shows can be really useful. Um, I kind of want to start with, I don't know, actually. I think I'll start with Nancy and Chrissy. I think you have a little background with Chrissy, correct? And Nancy.
Yeah, no, I know the full story on this.
Okay, so obviously Chrissy is Jim Jones's not wife for notorious not wife for now 18 years. Actually,
Partner.
funny enough, this week she finally came out and now I think she's trying to play reverse psychology and she's telling him she doesn't care anymore. And now he's like, "What? You don't want to get married?" He's like, "No." She's like, "No, I don't." And now so I think she's gonna try to sucker him in that way. But apparently Nancy's just never liked Chrissy. Didn't like that Chrissy proposed to Jim Jones. They haven't spoken in a couple of years. But the conversation went really well. But so I'm more interested to hear from you, Bri. Like, were you surprised how quickly and how well this convo went? And kind of fill me in a little bit.
I actually thought it was going to go badly just based off of like previous things that happened in the New York season. Like, I mean, Jim Jones' mom, like she made like diss tracks about Chrissy. She made
What?
like paraphernalia like about the way like things that she like their conversation. So like I was a little surprised how it went, but then again, like you said, like these reunion shows, I'm sure like the producers are going to be like, look, we don't, we, I'm sure that it's something's got to be said where it's like, we would love to have you here, but we can't have you acting a fool, like
Yeah.
bringing up old beef that's like 10 years old. So, I mean, but Chrissy keeps it real. That's the thing that I kind of like about Chrissy is like, she's going to speak her mind. And like, that's kind of like something that alludes to at the end of this episode and like is going to be in the next episode, which I'm kind of excited about that altercation because
This stuff with Shakina,
yeah,
how
like
Shakina was talking smack on Lyrica and the right. Not well. First, she ices Lyrica, and then she's
no,
talking.
no, not her, not her, not her. But that's also good too. I'm
Yeah.
talking. She says like, "Oh, did you pay your legal fees to 50 yet?"
Yep.
And then she was like, "Oh, well,
FTR.
yeah, yeah." And she's like, "Well, who said that?" And I don't think she was expecting it to be Chrissy because Chrissy's not going to back down. So I'm
Well, I
interested in
like
that.
that. Chrissy
Yeah.
didn't like that the shit talk. She didn't like it.
No,
She's
she
like,
doesn't mess around. Like that's the she was the one beating up all the she was the one that posted that video where she's making fun of the girl in the bathroom. That's Chrissy. So like
yeah.
you kind of got a gauge of like who she is and can she be a little like mean sometimes? Sure, but she doesn't play. She doesn't have time for play.
Play, no play.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Shakina arrives. She's from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
I know
Good
her
friends with
too. I know her too.
okay. Good friends with Spice. Uh Chaotic said that he does know her, but she comes with the bullshit. This is his exact line.
Yep.
And yeah. She won't shake Lyrica's hand. That was a crazy funny one where
Mhm.
apparently Lyrica had reached out when she had a song. So she obviously it was the one part of Shakina's thing I do get. It's like we can't pretend like you don't know who I am when you've DM me to share my
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
However, I
Especially
did like
promotion.
that the follows you part, the Instagram
She
thing
messed it
continues
up.
there.
Yeah.
She thought it was an intentional diss.
Mhm.
So
But
What's
she
been
doesn't play around either, Bill. Like she is not about the bullshit. Like has no filter. So I mean, another thing that could develop into something good for the viewers. I was surprised to see her. I thought it was going to be somebody else when like they kind of alluded. I thought it was going to be this other girl, Sierra from ATL, but fine with her too.
That's cool. Um, I did like that. That what's it called? That TR said that, but they were like, "Oh, you're gonna have to pay 50's lawyer fees," and her line was, "He'll get it when I got it."
AKA, I'm not paying him.
She ain't never paying him. She ain't never getting a dime
I
from
didn't hear
him.
about this story. I would have.
I didn't either. So I was like,
Yeah,
"What?"
like I like 50 Cent, so I would have thought that. I don't know. I just maybe it would just if it's $50,000. I don't want to speak on it, but I don't really know. But just I'll get to that season now. I'll fill you in, Bill. What really happened?
We got a nice tease as well, kind of a brewing fight that's been a lingering issue for this relationship. We're obviously talking about Jen and Fresh. Um,
Yeah, that's
Fresher is being the most logical man on the show and basically saying, like, look, I know I've made a bunch of mistakes and stuff, but I'm not gonna have a $250,000 wedding just because like we've had a bad relationship. Like, we're gonna invest that money and like we're gonna use that money. And she's basically says that if, and you see in the preview, she's telling everyone that if he doesn't do that wedding within 2 years, she's gonna leave him.
she's not going
Thoughts?
to leave him.
She ain't gonna leave him.
She's not. Like, I mean, it's they even on the New York season, like that kind of same lingering fight was ongoing. Like, just I'm honestly surprised they're on the show. Like, they weren't on New York that prevalent. Like, they weren't like prevalent to me as like. But I guess this is what there's like 50 million people on the show. They got to pull like the B's and C's.
So what I do appreciate what they're doing in this show, and they're doing it themselves, whether they're getting themselves thrown out or choosing to, they're all cycling themselves out. Like some of them
Mm-hmm.
are like, I'm gone tomorrow. Like our boy left last week.
Yeah, Trick Daddy left.
Yeah, Trick left. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, so some of them are just like, I'm only allowed to go for a few days. Like,
Mm-hmm. I
so
wonder if that's personal choice or like they say that, but the producer's like, okay,
they
you're in
pay
here
for,
like overlapping schedules type of thing.
or like we'll cover X amount of nights for free for you. The rest
Mhm.
is on you. And most of them, a lot of them are still super loaded, and some are like, eh. So I could see
Right.
that being the thing too. Overall, I like you said, combining. I kind of watched last week's episode into this week's episode. I liked it. I do think that we have a lot of drama coming. I do think that I'm actually starting to get a handle on some of the relationships again, and this is coming from someone that's never seen an episode of Love and Hip Hop. So like, I think they're doing a pretty good job of making it engaging for me. It's reminding me of kind of like the Surreal Life in a lot of ways, of like how like serious like the activities are, but like they're having fun and there is
Mhm.
existing, but adding the existing beef, but with good background. And
Yeah, the flashbacks I think are good for like someone like you. You're kind of they give you like 30-second snippet and it's kind of good enough or like a good time lapse.
the show's also cool in the sense that like obviously I can't go and digest all of these shows at once. By seeing this, I can go, you know what, I really want to watch like Atlanta because I want to see
Yeah.
this person, right? Like
Mhm.
I can, it kind of is giving me a sample and then I want to go back and see that. Like it's just like what I'm doing with Below Deck. I'm watching Below Deck Med now because I want to get to Captain Sandy and I want to be a little more caught up on Captain Sandy when we're watching these episodes that she's on now, right? So
Right.
like, and I forgot that Captain Sandy doesn't start Below Deck Med, so I'm working through Captain Mike right now. But
It's funny how we're both doing like different like
yeah,
I'm doing like we all have our own catalog that we're
yeah.
like
Well, there's no reason
honing.
for us to all do the damn
We need
same
to have
thing.
experts.
Yeah, we need to be subject
Just
matter
wish it
experts.
wasn't just you and I.
We'll get there. Um, yeah, so that's really all I have for Love and Hip Hop this week. Check out the rest of the coverage we have on the channel this week. Like I mentioned, we did not actually have Below Deck that had a best of, but we did just drop a interview with Kendra from the Real Love Boat. Really cool behind the scenes stuff, and we got some scoops that you actually aren't going to see literally anywhere else. Working on other cast members from that show. We will have the first week of the Circle from Netflix that drops tomorrow, or probably when you're seeing this today, Wednesday. So that means Brian and I are probably, when you're watching this video, currently watching the Circle videos to get them out for you guys. Hopefully Wednesday night, latest, probably sometime on Thursday. Brian, anything else this week that's releasing?
We should be back with the challenge,
The
hopefully.
challenge ride or dies.
I think a lot of the other shows that we have like a little lull before the new year, but then like it kind of picks up. Like we have MILF Manor, we have
Yeah, I could do
yeah.
that. Starting in January, we'll have coverage of Below Deck. We'll have The Circle, Married at First Sight. The challenge will continue. We also have the Traders premiere. That's that reality
Mhm.
TV series.
I'm
That's the
excited for
second
that.
week. And then we will have, like Brian said, MILF Manor. And then finally, our bread and butter, January 23rd, The Bachelor season 27 premiere. Will roll us into some really cool. Oh, also RuPaul's Drag Race. We're gonna have a
Ooh,
special.
that I think that starts next week, Bill.
Yeah, special guest host William. I'm going to do my best to go in as many of the reviews, but we may also have some guest reviewers. But you're not going to beat the variety here on the Reality Guys. I can tell you that. For
Mm-mm.
myself, Brian, all our future guest hosts, all our past co-hosts, our multiverse versions of ourselves, and Jesse Palmer. Thank you. Peace.